Yes, welcome back to Football Heritage TV. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whoever you support. Welcome to Savva Lubo Ask Us Anything. Lubo, before we start talking football, how are you? And it's nice to see you put on a shirt again. You've made an effort again. Very nice.
I did have a couple of appointments this afternoon with my work, so don't get ahead of yourself.
That'll be it. That'll be it. Well, that'll be it. Guys and girls in the chat, welcome to each and every one of you. Get your questions in with the same format. Lubo and I will have 5-10 minutes chatting, and then we'll get to all the questions. Probably go to about 6:30, and then I'm live again tonight at 10 o'clock. More general football chit chat, and I've entitled that show "Spurs Be Ashamed." And the reason I've titled that show, Lubo, "Spurs Be Ashamed," is I'm just sick of every single time my phone pings. I'm seeing City, Arsenal, I'm seeing Newcastle, I'm seeing Chelsea, I'm seeing Man United, Sunderland making moves. I'm seeing Ipswich Town. I'm seeing Ipswich Town buying footballers that would probably get in Spurs 11. And nothing from Spurs. So we've got Eze, who is now officially in talks with Arsenal, apparently, to the Ben Jacobs and all them lot, which is what we thought all window, why we've not gone in for him. And Sesko, Man United are in club-to-club talks with RB Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko. And that means that if they get Sesko, which I can't see why they wouldn't, they're going to have revamped their forward line in one window to be Cunha, Sesko, and Mbuemo. Lubo, not to steal Perchie's line, but what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing?
I think I've got a theory, actually. I've got a theory.
Go on.
He had a go at getting us relegated, Levy, and we finished 17th. Now, I think he's fed up with all the boardrooms now in the Premier League. I think he wants to see a few in the Championship.
Mate, so must be.
I think he might be looking to get the team relegated this year. You know, turn around to the fans and say, it was exciting. We had a relegation battle. You know, it went right to the last. And now we're going to QPR next season. So, there you go. What can I say? It'll happen. I'm sure there'll be a few players between now and September the 1st. It's the way they do it. Apart from 2 years ago when Ange came in, and he came into Basuma, Vicario and Udogie and Porro, and then brought in Van der Ven, Madison and Johnson. We had 7 fairly new players that year. Apart from that, we've never had never had a season transfer window like that. This is what happens. That's right.
Yeah, it's just to be honest, I literally just said to my wife, it's getting to the stage where I feel like I've really got a laugh. Like I'm kind of in the anger stage at the moment. I was in the denial stage, right? My denial turned to anger, and now I feel like my anger's just going to turn into and I think if this window ends the way it's going, I'm not saying that we don't bring anyone else in, but if it ends with the level of signings we're making, I am going to turn around and say, listen, I'm grateful that Thomas Frank's here as a coach, but I'm going to expect absolutely nothing next year because these clubs are... I want to start by talking about Man United. And by the way, get your questions in, because if you don't get the questions in, I've got none to save up for us to answer. I'm going to start with the Man U piece because this is the team, Lubo. Now, I have to be really careful because I always preach that Man U are a big club, and they are. Man U are a massive, massive juggernaut of a football club. But 2 months ago, whatever it was, 2 months now? Yeah, the end of May. 2 months ago, Tottenham beat them, and it was that sliding doors moment, we were told, for both football clubs. Well, Man U are doing that, and we've stayed there. We've stayed there, and it's asking the question: who won that night? Who won that final? They might as well have won it.
They may as well. You'd have actually thought 17th, new manager. You'd have thought we're going to go all out. Who are his targets? Let's get the targets in. Let's worry about getting the players out after that. Let's get them in while we can get them in before other clubs pick them up. And what have we got? Kudus, Gibbs White. I'm sure the club were mugged off on that one. but nothing since. Nothing.
Mad.
I mean, listen, it's we were in talks. I'm just waiting for the Chinaman to come on because we were in talks during Angie's last transfer window with the Chinaman. We won once, long time since, but that didn't quite work out. And there's nothing. There's just nothing. There doesn't seem to be anything going on. Polinia seems to be dropping off. I don't know. There's not much going on there. And Wes Levy and Vinay, they're in Hong Kong. So they've gone out on a jolly. Frank needs players. And Lange's here on his jack. I would have thought it would have been more important, much more important for either one of Levy or Vinay, whoever's handling it. I'm still told it's Vinay. But nothing. It's not a proper football club. It's just not. They're going out. They're probably meeting potential commercial partners out there for chats, which is why Levy and Vinay are out there. So do a few more deals. I think was it a pastry partnership they've got and car partnerships.
Today was dogs.
Was it dogs? Whatever it is, and it's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
Well, in other news, to save our transfer window, to save us, and by the way, you've got to get some questions in, people. Normally we're inundated. I know we're all frustrated, but we'll keep the content going for you. This is some good news, right? And I'm clutching at straws massively. There we go. Jed Spence's camp have received a new contract proposal from Tottenham, and he's keen on accepting. I'll be honest, Lubo, nothing against Spence, but I saw this news and went, yeah. just
no, listen. That's positive news. Rewind 12 months, you would never have dreamt this would happen with Ange there. It just wasn't getting a look in, wasn't included in the UEFA 25. So, and he came in and he did well. So, full marks, the club have recognised that, and they're giving him a new contract. So that's positive. But where are the new players? That's
I mean, the thing is, listen, and I'm all for Jed Spence being part of the squad. I've got no problem with him. I just feel like whatever the club put out as news at the moment, Lubo, no one cares what it is if it's not we're in negotiations with a footballer.
I think that's where we're at now, isn't it? And I do think it's because of the top 4, 5, the top 4 plus Man U who are just getting on with it. So, it's, and as each day goes by, City have got Trafford, United are going in for Sesko now. Gokara's got signed and sealed on Saturday. It just gets worse and worse. So, and the papers are reporting that we're in for Rodrigo, Real Madrid. Seriously?
We're not in for.
How ridiculous is that?
He
could go anywhere. He could literally go anywhere. And it was interesting because a few weeks ago, Sean, I saw him trolling you today on your show earlier. Mr. Butler was actually saying that there was a surfeit of centre forwards that were on the market. Where have they gone now? There aren't many left, are there?
It's just mad. I'm looking at a Spurs squad that have travelled for a tour with Lancashire, Richarlison, and Solanke. And I'm seeing a team that don't even have European football bidding for Watkins, bidding for Sesko. I'm seeing Newcastle in for Sesko. They're in the Champions League like us. They're bidding for Sesko.
We should be bidding for Ollie Watkins.
I agree.
I heard a figure of 45 million was mentioned. I don't know whether that was an opening offer that was rejected, but if Watkins is available, go and get him. He's better than anything we've got in our squad. That's for sure. I just want to check there's not a question about this.
No, there is a question about what I was about to ask you, so I'll save it for when that question comes up. Cambo has said, winning the Europa has done nothing for us on the football side. We were a clown's car on fire. This is why when people are telling me off and not celebrating enough when we won it, the one thing I said at the time was, cool, it's great, but are we going to kick on? And we've absolutely not. And the worrying thing for me is, Luba, I've said this all along, we're acting like a football club that has PSR issues. We're acting like oh my God, we've got to sell to buy. I don't buy that for 1 second that this football club hasn't got the money to go out and buy 3 or 4 players without selling.
But Sav, the club's always had money. They're the most profitable club since the Premier League started. It's their club. They spend how they wish. It is their club. They're entitled to do what they want. And they choose not to spend the money at the right time and stretch when they need to. And what's the biggest disaster? The biggest disaster and was the amount of money they've wasted. And they gave Ange spent 380 million from the time he came in with Van der Ven being his first signing, and with Kinski, Dan Soentel as the last window. And I'm not including the 39 or the 29 million that for Tell. I'm just including 10 million in there for Tell. But there were 18 players for 380 million. And that's the problem. Other clubs will buy 6 or 7 for 380 million. We buy 18. And that's crazy. They will buy quality. They will spend more money buying the better players. And I think, it's one thing, yes, wages isn't the only reason why clubs aren't successful. And the guys were saying quite rightly on Monday night, you look at the recruitment, and recruitment is key. But how can you recruit the best players if you're on if you've got a wage cap? If the owners won't spend the big money, like when Jose wanted Ruben Diaz and ended up with Rodon, when Jose wanted Bruno Fernandes, I think he got Gedson Fernandes. It's absolutely crazy. So, this has always been the problem. They buy lots of players for less money, for smaller wages, and on the odd occasion they do buy better players. They have to pay the higher wages, like Romero, like when and I talk about Sonny the old Sonny when he negotiated his last contract. Maddison's another one. Kulu, I know he's been inconsistent, but he was running to the ground last season. Started off brilliantly, and these are our 4 highest paid players, and they're probably the 4 best players for me. So, you get what. Listen, it's the old adage: you get what you pay for. And again, recruitment does come into it. Wages do come into it, but we wouldn't spend the wages on Mane. We wouldn't spend the wages on Ronaldo. I know it's 8 years ago. Those decisions probably cost us the league that year. That could have been our first league championship win for what were we, 39's 56 years. So
yeah, just honestly, I've got to the stage where I'm so deflated. Like, I'll be honest, if it wasn't for content creation and all this kind of work being my living, honestly, I think I would have walked away not from Tottenham, but I would have just walked away from all transfer stuff and just gone and buried my head in the sand somewhere. It's just so. I just think they're taking the piss out of the fans so much now. Like all fans, it doesn't matter if you go, if you don't go. I think all fans are being taken for a ride. And what's worse is there are people that still say, "Oh, don't be negative," and you're like, "Are you kidding me? Are you watching what's going on?" Look, let's get some questions. There have been some questions put in. Where are we? Let's go to the first question. So, DJN. By the way, YouTube's doing that funny thing again with people's names. I don't know why. Apologies for that. I don't know why I'm apologising for YouTube, but Savva, Grealish and Calvin Phillips for 40 million. We have a deal. Calvin is not optional though. Okay, so I'm guessing this is a Man City fan. I'm at the stage where I'd even take. I'm at that stage where I'll take anything. Like that's how desperate I am, DJ. And of course, I'm being flippant. No, I wouldn't. I don't want Calvin Phillips. Just for that reason, I'd say no. Just for that reason. Lubo, would you take those two 40 million?
No, I'd take Grealish.
Yeah.
I'd take Grealish. If Grealish costs 40 million, then I'd take Grealish for 40 mil.
Yeah.
But I think Calvin Phillips, I would have taken him after Leeds, but he made the wrong choice. Made the wrong choice, went to Man City, lost his way, hardly got any. I mean, what's he going? He's never going to push Rodri out. So that was a disastrous career decision.
Yeah, it was really,
Great.
really.
He's got medals. He's got medals, but look, he lost his England place. So I'm sure that meant, but that meant loads to him. So shame because he was
a really ill-advised move, wasn't it, from whoever manages him? If I'm his agent, I'm saying, listen, I know you want to get out of Leeds, but let me find you somewhere a bit more in the middle between us and City. That's what I would have said. By the way, ill-advised is 379 of you in here and growing, and only 60 likes. Come on, people, let's smash that like button. Listen, don't take out your frustration on us. We're out here trying to give you content, trying to keep people entertained during the down period of this transfer window. I don't even know if we've had an up period. But look, let's get to the next question. Thank you, DJing. The next question is, I saw this and I'll wrap this one into this one with Angus. So 2 people asking, score prediction tomorrow and how many goals this season will my number 14 score, which is, of course, Gyökeres. So Gyökeres, the new 14 at Arsenal. Big boots to fill, being Thierry Henry's famous number, Ginola's number, Modric's number.
Number?
You've just pissed me off. Lubo, score prediction for tomorrow?
3-0 Gooners. How many will he score this season?
Yeah.
20, 25, if he stays injury-free.
Is that league or all competitions?
All competitions.
I think he'll score more than that. I do. I think score prediction, I will go for an Arsenal win purely because, again, I want to see if Solanke plays, if Maddison plays, maybe. Without those two, we've got no proper centre forward, no playmaker.
Don't think either of them are playing.
No. Well, he said they were both like that, but the way he said it made me think they weren't going to be ready. I don't expect to beat good teams when our best players are not playing. It's that simple for me. It's that simple for me.
If you're missing Udogie, Bentancur, Maddison, Solanke, you're missing 4 first teamers.
Yeah.
To try and get anything from Arsenal, you've got to have your full strength team out.
Yeah.
And then you're not guaranteed to even draw. So if you're missing 4 players, I can't see it. I can't see it.
No, I can't. And for me as well, I can live without Bentancur. I can live without Udogie. My issue is it's that attacking area. The only one now in that squad that fills me with any hope is Kudus. The rest of them I look at and go, who's hurting them? But it's a friendly, so I'm not. We talked about this all week. I'm not one of those, Lubo, that gets really disappointed by a friendly score, but we just don't want to get hammered, right? I don't want to. I don't want to get hammered.
The only marginally acceptable will be a 3-0 to 3-goal defeat. Marginally, I think, but I'd want it to be less than that. If we're going to lose, 2-1, 3-1, I don't want to see them on the end of a 4 or 5-0 thrashing. Mind you, Levy's out there. You might look at that and think, Jesus Christ, the fan base are all singing Levy out in Hong Kong. You never know.
Well, they won't be. And second of all, every window I hear, well, maybe if we lose this game, maybe if this happens, then he'll change. It's not changing. I agree with you. I do think we're going to get some players in. I do think we're going to be underwhelmed. I think what this club will do is in the last week of the window, they'll bring in a Paulinho on loan. And then most of the fan base will go, oh, there you go. It's not enough. This isn't enough. We don't need 2. We don't need 2. We need 4 or 5. We need numbers.
We're not going to get a total of 5 or 6 players.
No,
coming into the first,
but not first teamers.
Are we? It's just not going to happen.
Let's have a look. And absolutely it is. And what a great TV show that was, Bottom. Crazy how Man U lost the final, but compared to us, act like they won. And listen, this is the problem. I'm seeing Spurs fans all over social media with copium. Oh, have they really strengthened? What, a front three of Sesko, Cunha and Mbuemo? Imagine that was our front three, Lubo. We'd be pissing our pants with excitement, wouldn't we?
Be lovely. It's a very good start for them. They need a couple of midfield players around Fernandes, and they need a defence desperately. So I mean, they are some way off, but that would be a great way to start in one window.
Look, for me, when I'm talking about Man U, I'm not talking about them touching the big boys, but I'm talking about the fact that they've gone out and gone bum bum. Look, do you know how you know the Sesko deal is going to be done soon? In the world of transfers, when Ornstein, Romano, Plettenberg, Jacobs, when they all start mentioning the same transfer in the same day, you know it's progressing, right? And all of them in the last 4 hours have all put out a bundle of Sesko information. So this is happening. This is happening whether we like it or not.
They all got Gibbs White wrong, didn't they?
Yeah, but mate, I mean, look, they weren't to know that Marinakis was going to do what he did, right? Let's be brutally honest. They weren't to know that. I mean, you've picked the one example there, but come on, when they all start saying it, you know it's, especially Ornstein. Mm-hmm. Ornstein does not say a lot of things, but when he starts getting involved, you know that it's real and you know that it's happening. Do I think Spurs will challenge for the title like Deji? No, I do think that Deji is playing the game and I think he's just having a laugh with people. If not, I will speak to Deji about his belief in Spurs winning a title. There is more chance of me winning the Euro Millions this Friday than Tottenham winning the Premier League title. We are so far off it. I'm sure. Oh, wait. Here we go. Let's have a look at the next question. Next question is, by the way, Gyökeres, sorry, Angus. I think Gyökeres gets 22, 23 league goals at least. I don't think the Premier League's a great league. I think that he will score. I don't think there's many good defenses. I think he's going to score goals and then add another 10, 12, I reckon, in Europe and in, I reckon he gets 30, 35 goals this season.
Well, if he does, they're going to win something, aren't they?
Yeah, listen, I think it's a great signing. As much as I think people want to go, oh, he'll flop, I don't see what about this man flops. He scores goals. He's a goal scorer. I don't know. I think a lot of football fans have not just Spurs fans, have copium. They all did it when Erling Haaland came over to the Premier League. Oh, he'll flop. Yeah, banged in goals for fun since he's been here, hasn't he? So I think he'll be good. Let's look at the next one. Wayne Holland said, do you think winning the Europa League has been a curse? Seeing as United are having a good window, yours is a shocker at best.
I don't think it's a curse, Wayne. Good evening. These are our owners. So regardless of whether we'd have won or lost in Bilbao, these guys behave the same way year after year. So, listen, I'm delighted we won. Don't think it's a curse. Just don't think anything's changed, to be honest.
I'm gonna disagree with Lubo on this one, Wayne. I think it's made fans start chatting a lot of shit. There you go. I'll say that. It's made fans start saying really ridiculous things. It's made fans start hating Thomas Frank for no reason when he's not done anything. It's made fans think that we're the biggest club in the world. I think it's been a bit of a curse. Winning the trophy is good, but the hindsight of it is it's made a lot of people not really remember how bad we were. It's made a lot of people kind of sweep under the cup. People predicting 4th and 5th. And I'm looking going, what are you doing? Like people going, oh, Thomas Frank has to finish. I'm not based on what? We just finished 17th. So I get you, mate. And yeah, shocker at best at the moment is definitely how I'd describe it. Big up to Corey, who has said, describe being a Spurs fan in 3 words. Lubo?
It's character building.
It's character building. Utterly fucking embarrassing.
There you go.
We must be the only club, right? So-called big club that wins a European trophy and then acts like this as we're about to go into a Champions League. It's embarrassing. I've got fans of clubs that are smaller than ours messaging me today on WhatsApp, right? Sending me the screenshot of Tottenham announced their what is it, the dog partner or a pet food brand, and just saying things to me like, your club is shameless, your club is finished, your club is not a football club. And these are fans of clubs that don't win anything as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we are, Corey, for me. There are no one's listen, we can all mock Chelsea. Your club's embarrassing for they're winning trophies and spending millions, and there's nothing for them to be embarrassed about. City, Liverpool, even Arsenal, we can mock them for not getting over the line with a trophy. But right now, if I said to you, whose trajectory do you want to be on? It's not ours, is it? Even though we won a trophy. No.
Really poor. As I said, nothing will change till the owners do. Unfortunately, I think you're seeing that as well, aren't you?
No, absolutely. Mixney said, who is doing any transfer business for us whilst all the movers and shakers are in Asia? Also, is Paratici officially back?
I think he's there. I think he's there, but in a consultancy position. Spurs have not announced that he's back full time. Who's doing the deals? I think the tea lady's doing the deals. I think she's the only one that's left. You know, the one who looks after the teas for the all the trainers and everybody in the Enfield training ground. I think she's handling things. So yeah. It's
Let's go to the next question. Yeah, listen, I think when we look at it, I think it's sad. What I would have liked to have seen would have been Levy, Vinay, right, and Lang here in the UK. I would have liked to have seen them at Spurs, locked in a room. But for 2 weeks.
Can we speak to Mr. Levy? No, he's not available. Doris, the tea lady, will help you though.
It's embarrassing, mate. So yeah, I'm just deflated. I'm so deflated. I know a lot of you lot are, but let's go to the next question. Hod God, big up to my man. Hod God said, Savva Lubo, are we waiting for the stadium naming rights and investment before we buy more players?
I've got to tell you, what an absolute disgrace this has been, that they have not put a stadium naming rights together. If you look at it, say conservatively, 20 million a year on a 10-year deal from 2019 to 2029. And we're 6 years, we're going into the 7th season now. That's 200 million. How much help for players would that 200 million have given the club? It's an absolute disgrace, and I hold Levy 100% responsible for that.
Yeah.
Everton have got naming rights.
They've
not even moved in. I think they're moving in a couple of weeks. They've already got, their ground's named whatever it's named. It's just dreadful. It's just, the whole thing is a shambles. Just everything. I hope Sean's listening in. It's just, seriously, it's just horrendous. He can't even get a naming rights deal over the line. I mean, really? What a businessman. Fantastic. Hopeless for football. Just dreadful. But I'm not saying anything new, and I'm not saying anything that most people don't already know. There you go.
Yeah.
No doubt if we lose tomorrow will be crazy. Not really. Is anybody seriously expecting Spurs to win tomorrow?
But it will be. It will be. That's how people work. And he is 100% right. Yeah. It will be all about Ange. If we lose, every time we lose a game, it's going to be about Ange.
But Sav, we lost virtually every game under Ange last season. So I don't know how we've lost again. Yeah. Were you going? What were you watching last season? There you go.
No, mate, listen, I hear you. You don't have to convince me of it. Look at the meltdown on Saturday. Oh, Ange would have won those games. I mean, who cares? I'm so bored of Ange's name. Like, why can't everybody move on?
That's right.
Right? Whenever a manager moves on, they move on. Yeah. But this has been like every comment in my YouTube section, not in here, but afterwards, every comment. This is what you wanted. I'm like, what has our transfer window got to do with Ange? Like, I don't know I don't know how many childish people there are out there.
You know, in the last 3 transfer windows, Ange had 4 windows. In the last 3 windows, the only player who he bought that came straight into the first team was Solanke. The only one. And he's not the greatest player on earth, is he? By any stretch of the imagination. And that was Ange in 3 transfer windows, where he brought in about 12 different players. And only one of those 12. So you could actually say there's horrendous player ID there from Ange. The recruitment's poor. The wage cap obviously didn't help. And how much did we spend on transfers for 12 players? I mean, what are you going to get for, Gray was probably the highest one for 40 million. And we only paid that because we hijacked a deal. If Brentford weren't in there, there's no way Spurs would have paid Leeds 40 million fee. Having said that, Rodon was also included, which I think also swayed the deal because Leeds wanted Rodon after the season he had the previous year. But so Ange's windows were dreadful.
Yeah, big up to my man Rodney. Look, mate, it is sad, isn't it? We're constantly just watching other teams. I mean, I'm sitting here jealous of Sunderland. Let that sink in. I'm jealous of Sunderland, a team that have got promoted. They weren't even fancy to get promoted. They've got promoted and they're moving like a team that are actually trying to hit their targets for the season. Big up to David. My man David has said, Sav, as a Toon fan, I can say we're probably in a worse position than Spurs. Mate, I don't see how. I think both our clubs are having a nightmare. If I'm honest, I think both our clubs have done absolutely nothing to move forward. I mean, look, you've bought in Alanga, which was positive. At the moment, you've not lost anyone, but obviously the Isak situation's going to be interesting. But yeah, both our clubs. I always talk, David, about the food chain. And I know a lot of people dismiss me when I say that. And lots of people just say, put the money down. This window, if ever we've seen an example about the food chain in football, right? It's this one. Look at the players Newcastle have gone for and not got, because you've lost out each time. City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. You're losing out to all the big clubs. When the big clubs come in, the other clubs don't get the players. And I'm told all year round that's wrong. All year round, put the money down, pay the way. Those clubs get the players. But our clubs should be doing other bits, looking at other players. That's what's frustrating. Big up to you, David. Let me have a look at
stop on that. And so when I said for the last few months that not winning a trophy for 17 years and behaving the way we do in the transfer market has affected the club so badly, people said, no, don't believe it. Spurs don't have the credibility that they had 25 years ago. We were still, even in 98, we picked up Klinsmann on loan. In the last 2 or 3 years of Sugar's reign. And since then, Bale was brought in as a kid. Kane came through the academy. Modric was a deal at 15 million. Dele was a deal at 5 million. They were the best buys. And the last time we actually bought a player from a top 4 club, I think it was Robbie Keane. I think about 16 years ago. And when we bought him back from Liverpool, we're just not involved in this. It's that world of football has gone off. And we've just fallen back so much under this ownership. This is why we desperately need new owners. I had a long chat with Sean about this the other day, and we were just saying that if you're gonna pick it up, if you're going to get Spurs back in there with those top 4, then you've got to start somewhere. You've got to get new owners in You've got to have a statement signing like City had with Robinho when Mansour bought them, and go from there. And then after a couple of years of building nicely, and you're around the top four, then you can compete with the Chelseas and Liverpools and Uniteds, Cities. So that's what we need. Unfortunately, it's so frustrating because we're stuck with these owners with their lack of ambition, and nothing is going to change. And we can drive ourselves mad all we want, but nothing, as I say, it's the same every year. It's the same every year.
Yeah. Let's get the next question going. Big up, David. Thanks for that, mate. Big up. Where are we? Andy Midge. Big up, Andy. How you doing, mate? I said, would you accept us not making huge signings if we actually threw the kids in the first 11? Donnelly, Devine, Lancashire, Phillips. If we committed to the development of youngsters, would you be okay? Well, this is an interesting one, right? Because I think I feel like if we had done this before we built a £1 billion stadium, maybe. I think the fact they built the £1 billion stadium, the fact that it costs roughly 90 quid a ticket to go and watch Tottenham Hotspur play, depending on where you sit, the fact that everything costs so much, the merchandise, the food, the drink, the shirts, I think that if they just chucked in the youngsters, it would make it look very embarrassing that their 25 years has all been about building a £1 billion stadium to field a team of kids. However, I would like to see some of the kids come through if they're good enough. I tell you what I think needs to change in football. Forget Spurs for the moment, Lubo. I think they need to bring back the reserve teams. Do you remember the old combinations league?
Combination, yeah.
Right? And players who were not 100% fit would play in that midweek to see if they could be fully fit for the weekend. You know, you had the younger players played in that. A couple of the seniors that are getting fitness. To this point, I mean, if we put out a team full of Donnellys, Devines, Lancashires, Phillips, the natives would be very restless, wouldn't they?
If the first couple of games we lost, then I suppose they'd be looking at it and think, just abort this project. You know, it's exceptionally rare to have a class like a class of 92, where 6 players came through literally together through the youth academy. And City would probably do it if they weren't out spending big money on players, because the players that have come through, you know, Trafford came through their academy, Porro did. Amongst that, there are so many that that City have brought through that have gone on to bigger things.
Lavia, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, who's still there, and they've just loaned out a centre half today to Celtic. Is it Simpson Pusey? I think he played against us, if I'm not wrong. They've just loaned out a centre half to Celtic. McAtee looks like he might be on the way out. Rico Lewis. They're so good at it, aren't they? These clubs, they're so good at it.
Yeah.
And we're not. Let's get the next question. Corey's coming again and said, what do you think about the Spursy label? Is it fair or lazy?
Is it fair or lazy?
I'll go if you're not going to. It's bloody fair. I think it's more than fair. I think it's the best word ever invented to describe a football club. Because every time people tell me off for using it or say, oh, it's derogatory about your own club, this is how we act. We act Spursy. Win the Europa League. Get through the back door for the Champions League. Tumbleweed in the
ambition. I think lacking in ambition is probably the right way of putting it to me. I mean, listen, I said the other week, Spurs I went in 71. We won at Chelsea 2-0 the week before, and we needed to beat Newcastle to go top. Newcastle were, God knows, 15th, 16th, 17th out of 22 teams. We're at home at White Hart Lane. We managed to lose, and it's never changed since then. Every time you think we're gonna jump, we need that win to actually push ourselves into the top four, or it's a statement win. We managed to lose, and I just think they need, as I said, if you brought in new owners, new people with a never say die mentality, a mentality that was like geared up to winning, that would go right the way through the club, this Spursy tag would go very quickly, because they have the right people in. They bring in winners. They bring in people with that mentality. You can't have players with weak mentality.
Just quickly, Andy Midge, you could give City 50 million for both these two, and they'd tell you politely where to go. They're asking for 42 million just for McAtee. City aren't going to give those two away for 50 million. That's not how they operate. These clubs sell their youth players for money, proper money. Those two between them would be 85, 90 million, mate. That's how they operate.
What were we doing selling Keeley for $1 million? I mean, that's a joke. It's an absolute joke. He's never going to play at Spurs, is he? That's right. He wanted to go, but you get 5-10 million for Keeley comfortably. Yeah, they just rushed it out. One minute he says no to a new contract, and the next minute he's out the door going to Luton. Just a farce.
I don't know. You get 5-10 million for him. I mean, he's a kid who's played in League One. I don't know where you get that valuation from.
Because I think it's way ahead of the standard of League One, and I'm sure there were lots of scouts. Sure that he was watched by lots of scouts from lots of clubs, that would have been looking at him. Luton jumped in very quickly. We nabbed him, and for Spurs it was let's get rid. Yeah. Again, just
by the way, I just want to look at this comment. I mean, Eugene, you're having a nightmare here. I mean, when we're talking about bottling and stuff, I mean, what are we doing here? Saying Arsenal bottle more than Spurs. If you look at the last 20, 30, 40 years, whatever, look how much they've won compared to Tottenham. I'll be honest, listen, I wanna mock our rivals, I want to banter them, but I genuinely don't know how we can sit here and take the piss out of a club that's far more successful than we are. I've never understood how we do it with any club, to be honest. They are, whatever you want to say about them, they are a serial winning football club. All right, they've had 5 years now without one. But Arsenal bottle more than Spurs? Mate, we've got one trophy in 17 years.
Eugene, they run their club properly. Yeah. They're a proper football club. We can't throw insults at any club when our club behaves the way it does. We're not a proper football club. Let's get that into our heads first, and then that gives you a perspective. That gives you a perspective on how football works and where the other clubs are at. We have no right to insult anybody while we do things the way we do.
But I do think that's a little bit into the psyche of Spurs fans, like this is the same psyche of not just saying Eugene, but this is the same psyche of when we're linked to players and how quickly we dismiss them, such as I'm not going to go into depth, such as when I hear fans saying I wouldn't want Grealish, and you're like, are you kidding me? Like, who do we think we are? Like, we sit and look at our squad and we say things like, wouldn't want Grealish, wouldn't want Ake, last year wouldn't want Sanderberg, don't want Locatelli. It's like Livramento as another one last year, wouldn't want him. And this is the same fan base that think that other clubs who are more successful bottle more than we do.
All I can say to our fellow fans is we were 17th last season. That's where we're coming from to push up the table. We were the last team. Out of all the teams that are left in the Premiership from last season, we were bottom. So... we're talking about a team that's finished second, has gone out and filled 5 or 6 gaps in their squad, most of them for the first team. You can't compare us to Arsenal. They go out and they do things properly. They brought in, they've got the guy from Spain, haven't they, to head director of football, and we've got Lang.
Well, Berta. They've gone and got Berta. Like a proper director of football who's been at a top club, signing top players, selling top players for years. We've got Johan Lang. See, this is the thing. So, like Eugene, you've got to think before you say these things. For me, read the sentence you've written. So basically, you're saying they're more successful, of course, but that's not bottling. Talking about losing when supposed to win. But if they're more successful, they can't bottle more than we do. It doesn't make sense, Eugene. Listen, what we've got to stop doing, we've got to stop worrying about them. Our fans have got to stop with the copium of, gutted, where's your trophy? I mean, at the moment, right now, look at them. Look, they're in talks with Eze, right? They've got Gyökeres. They've got Zubamendi. They're in talks with Eze. Now, they might not win the league this year, but you know what? They're buying players that suggest they want to. What are we doing? Honestly, I think we've got to stop worrying about other clubs.
They have spent 197 million so far. Arsenal. Not as much as Chelsea or Liverpool, but you know they've strengthened where they need to strengthen. If they get Eze, they're pretty much done. They're pretty much done probably for the next year or two. Kroenke's a proper owner. It took him a while to get it right in the round. Yes, he is a football person. And when we were talking about who we wanted to replace Enoch, for me, I want people to come in, sports people who understand about sport and have that desire to win and be successful. That's right.
I just want to see. Not every window's going to work for every club, right? Not everyone can win everything, right? So this window, for example, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, City, all of them are going to be sitting there talking about winning leagues. All of them want to win everything. Sure. Only one of them can, right? So it's not going to work. But you know what? Their ownerships are trying. Their ownerships are trying. So for me, that's all I want to see. If we had a window like Chelsea, like Arsenal, and then we didn't win anything at the end of the season, at least you turn around and go, well, hang on, you got the squad, you gave the manager what he needs. But I'm not even asking for that, Lubo. I'm asking for half of what these clubs have done. And we're not even getting that. Hang on. What's Florian Plettenberg saying? So Milan Skriniar. Here we go to Fenerbahce. Milan Skriniar. It's madness. It's madness. I think at the moment we need to look at the teams around us, and I keep lumping us in with three teams. I keep lumping us in with Villa, Newcastle, and United.
I think you'll be lumping us. I think we're going to end up, if this carries on, we're going to be lumped in probably with Brighton, Forest.
No, but that's my point. My point was, Lubo, was that's who I lump us in with at the moment. We've got to keep up with them. We've got to catch them, right?
At the moment, we're nowhere near them. At the moment, in terms of speculating where we'll finish in the league, we are nowhere near these teams.
But that's my point. We need a window to get to them. Villa and Newcastle, everyone's just going, like when we had the chat on the Spurs 5 the other night, Spurs should just be 5th or 6th. Like, hang on. We're 30 points behind these teams. Yeah. 30. Like, that's a huge swing whilst playing Champions League football. Oh, but Frank's a coach. It's like, oh my God. Like,
he's not a magician. Keep saying he's not David Copperfield. He can upskill them, but if the squad is not as good, and this squad, Sav, I said last year we disagreed, but in hindsight, this squad was not as good as Forest last season, was not as good as Newcastle, Villa. I mean, the top four, obviously. We were so many points behind a lot of these teams that obviously at the end of the day, Angie's system obviously had a lot to do with it. But when you're talking about players making the amount of errors, unforced errors that we did last year, whereas the year before, a lot of the goals were either coming from set pieces, from corners, free kicks, or from balls over the top and balls into the channels. It's poor. It was poor last year. I mean, people have got to realise the Europa League win was fantastic, but it covered over a lot of cracks in that squad, and people are looking at the squad now that's gone out. It's gone out.
But Lubo, look, we've got fans.
But how? Can I ask you, who in our team? I've got to ask, Mads, who is better? Who is better than Grealish? Do you seriously think that Grealish couldn't get into our team? Sonny looks spent this season. He's had a couple of games. Maybe listen, it's early days, but the back end of last season he didn't look good. Granted, he did miss a lot of games last season. Don't even think he played half the games. But tell Son, Moore has now gone. Solomon, are you telling me that Grealish is not as good as any of those? Come on, let's start thinking seriously. Over to you.
I mean, look. First and foremost, I think this is what I mean. This is what I mean. We've got these delusions of grandeur. We've got these delusions of grandeur that we're better than people like Jack Grealish. Like, I don't know who we think we are. We've just signed Takai and Tell. We've signed Brian Hill and Solomon and Odeber.
To give the whole thing some perspective, guys, we have won 3 trophies in 34 years.
It's just mental.
Seriously, 3 in 34. So where are we? We were 17th with 38 points. This was our worst ever league season in terms of points per games. Exactly one.
By the way, Dean,
38. Even when we went down, we got 32 from 42 games on a 3 points. And if that had been 2 points, I think they'd have finished on 30. Well, I don't know. It's just poor. It's just poor. It was our worst ever league season.
Dean Robinson, when you're saying how has Berta come from a top club, please do some research. Berta's come from Atletico Madrid and signed some absolute top-class players that were either top class at the time or that Atletico Madrid took cheap and then sold for massive money. I mean, what are we doing here? And then, unfortunately, that we got he's a troll. Look, man talking like. First of all, learn some English. No one starts a sentence with man talking like. Yeah, grow up, right? Man talking like you know about Arsenal director of football. Have a day off. Try some grammar. Try some commas, some full stops, right? And second of all, what do you mean? You know, Berta's pretty famous in the world. What are we doing here? How do people not understand the world of football outside the Premier League? Oh my gosh. Let's get to another question. Honestly, our fan base is so, honestly, I'll call it out. We've got people like Eugene that are so focused on the wrong things, so focused on trying to laugh at Arsenal whilst they're trying to get better rather than actually worried about ourselves. It's truly worrying stuff for me. Where are we? Let's have a look. What do I think? What do we think of United getting Sesko?
What do I think?
Do you want me to go?
Go on, you go first. You've probably seen him a lot more than I have, to be fair.
I think that there's a lot more to come from Sesko. I think that there's a reason why United wanted him, Newcastle wanted him, who was the other one that wanted him? Liverpool, Newcastle. There's a reason why clubs want him. He's a good player. And I think that he'll be the perfect foil up top for Cunha and Mbeumo. I'm jealous. I'm jealous that I look and see that we've got Solanke and Richarlison. I'm jealous. So I think United are making. United are a club that have just had a really shit season and trying to do something about it. Yes, they need more. I'm not saying they just need forwards, but they're trying. They're trying. And if I'm not wrong, was it 65 million from Mbeumo? Is it 65 million for Cunha?
62, right? But 62 and a half was Cunha's.
Sure.
I think Mbeumo is 71 in total.
Cool. Just roughly, Lubo. I'm just talking roughly, mate. Just roughly.
133. If Sesko comes in for, I mean, 70. United, I think, want to pay 70. I think they were saying, and Leipzig want 90. Leipzig, isn't it? He's with.
It will end up being 200. It will end up being 200 million pounds on a brand new front three.
Sure.
Ryan, I'm jealous. Jealous is my word right now, Lubo. There you go. I said it. I'm jealous.
There we go. I mean, Jeremy, just looking at Jeremy's comment, I've watched Tottenham since 2015. It's always the same excuses, never step up for the big players, and they hold on to the useless ones. The owners won't stretch. They have the money. They choose not to spend it the way they should spend it for a football club, and nothing will change. So, unfortunately, very, very difficult to come to terms, because as football fans, you want this. It's the hope that keeps you going, keeps you driving on. But unfortunately, my mantra is no expectations, no disappointment. And it's come to that, which is indifference. After all these years of supporting the club, it's pure indifference now.
For sure. I'm just deflated. Dan Sab. Sorry, some of these I might know your other names, but at the moment YouTube have got doing that funny thing with the names. So sorry, I don't know. Said, who would you prefer, Spence or Destiny? I guess you're talking about a left back. Defensively, well, actually, to be fair, I prefer Jed Spence. I'm not a huge fan of Destiny Udogie. I think he's done the square root of nothing for 2 years. However, Lubo, we had this chat yesterday morning, didn't we?
Yeah.
I do think that a lot of that was Ange not playing him correctly and not developing him. But Spence, for me, is just much better in the tackle. But what I do notice a lot with Spence, for as good as he is defensively in the tackle, he does all the hard stuff well and then seems to do the easy things poorly.
I think it's the wrong question. I think it should be Spence or Porro. Because I think although Spence played well at left back for several games last season, he's a natural right back. And for me personally, I would maybe push Porro forwards and play Spence behind him, because Porro technically is superb. And Spence, for me, is the far better defender than Porro. So for me, it's a win-win. It's a win-win. That's how I play it. So you could have, if you played Spence, then Porro, then Kudus, I think you'd have a very strong right-hand side at Spurs. Some fans think they're better than the You're right.
You're right. He's asked the wrong question. For me, what we should be doing, any top club would go, right, we've got Spence and Porro play right back, let them fight out. Yeah. And now you've got Udogie, and I keep using Robinson. You've got Udogie and Robinson. Now imagine you've got those two right backs, those two left backs, Van de Ven, Romero, Dragusin, Danso, Vuskovic, Takai. Now I've got a group of 10 defenders there.
You're done.
You're done. Right. And none of them are really that old either. So you've got room to grow. But we're not a top club. That's not what we do. And unfortunately, it is what it is. Let's get to the next question. We've got some super chats. I should do those first, shouldn't I? Soundboy. Big up to my man Soundboy. How you doing there? Says Savva Lubo. I want to apologize for having a pop at you two lately. Have a good day.
I remember him having a pop, so not a problem.
Was your name Tommy Castillo? I've got a feeling, because I recognize the surfboard thing. If it is, listen, my man, if it is, I don't mind. I really, really don't mind people having a pop. It's when they go over the top and say rude things. I have a pop. You know what I mean? But some people just say rude things and they take their frustration out on life, on us, because we're on screen. And that's fine. But I appreciate the apology either way. I tell you, God, I want a beer. I want a beer. That's what I want right now for how shit Spurs are. Big up to you, Soundboy. Appreciate that. Emma Morton, thank you very much for the super sticker. Really appreciate you, Emma. Thank you very much for your support.
Has Emma got a room full of super stickers?
A room full of super stickers for the show. Don't knock it. Don't knock it.
No,
Rodney.
Absolutely fantastic. Savva, take a bow.
My man, Rodney. And Savva, take a bow. How you lift yourself to do this. Yeah. Listen, let me set a record straight. What I get a lot is, I get a lot of people that say things like, oh, why are you guys streaming? There's nothing to stream about. Or, oh, you're making something out of nothing in stories. You've got to remember, I think when people choose to live as a content creator, whether it's YouTube, other platforms, doing work with newspapers and other companies, whatever. You've got to work. We don't get paid if we don't work, right? It's the same as any other industry. So when people say, "Oh, I can't believe you're streaming," well, that's life, right? That's how it all works. So big up, Rodney. Thank you, man. Listen, we try our best, mate. We try our best. Thank you, Rodney. Really appreciate that. The next one is this is Norwegian Corona, isn't it? Big up to Cryptics AFC, who said Berta won Best Sporting Director of the Year. Yeah, but apparently he's crap and he's not come from a good club. Sorry, some of our fans. I apologize on behalf of some of our fans. They're not the brightest. Big up to you. Thank you very much. Big up to Big Country Chris 4444 said, Savva, ask Lubo if he hates Logic. Do you understand?
Why would I hate Logic?
I'll tell you why. Because last night on Sean's show, box office came in like a bull in a china shop as normal. It was like, I hate Logic. Stop using the word logic. I think Lubo is a businessman who's got his own company and a father and a husband. I think the word logic is probably very much in his vocabulary. I'm just speaking for you there, Lubo, but I'm guessing.
That's fine. Carry on. Doing a good job there.
So yeah, listen, logic is very important in life. It's very important. Big up to you. Thank you, Chris. This is, I know this is because of the picture. So this is MUFC, isn't it? Whose handle is apparently Mbappe Boy. I love this. I don't know why YouTube have done this with people's names. It says Savva, we're getting Sesko and are going back in for Donnarumma levels. It was reported in the Telegraph. If we get Donnarumma, we get top 3. Right. Few things there, MUFC. First of all, yes, I agree with the first half. If you get Sesko and Donnarumma, absolute levels. You are, compared to us, the levels that you go in for are massive. I can't deny it. I don't think Lubo's in denial that he'll deny it, and most people in the chat wouldn't. Top 3, even if you get them and Donnarumma, it's a big ask because, yes, you're playing once a week, but I still don't think midfield and defensively you can compete with Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool and City. So, Lubo, I think even if they get Donnarumma and Sesko, top 3, for me, a bit of a stretch for United.
I think they're in the running for 5th.
Yes.
And although they're lacking certain players in midfield and defence, I think Amorim's a superb manager. I would have loved Spurs to have got it. I really would. You know, unfortunately, we ended up with Ange, but I think Amorim's brilliant and will be. And when he gets his team together, which might take him 2 years and 4 or 5 windows, they will be a force. United will be back, but not just yet. You know, you don't go from 16th to 3rd. That's the other thing.
It's a big jump. That's a huge jump.
It's a massive.
What I would say as well, I do think people have gone way too early on Amorim as well. Now, this might be one of those statements where you come back to me in December, MUFC, and go, oh, he's crap. Look, we're rubbish. But what I would say is I think Amorim gets last season because it wasn't his squad and he's taken over a shit show. What I will say is he doesn't get this season, right? He's now had the club for enough time and the summer. And if you bring in Cunha and Bremo and Sesko
and Donnarumma.
So big season for Amorim, but I don't think he's this terrible coach people think he is. I think everyone's gone reactive. We'll see. But big up to you, MUFC.
I think there were 2 things I found strange with Amorim in Bilbao, thankfully, was that he played Fernandes further back first half and then pushed him forward second half, and you saw what a threat he was in that second half, because the whole from being a 50-50 game that was pretty much, you know, put you to sleep first half, and then Johnson scored bang on half time. United had to come out. Fernandes got pushed forward. I was surprised he left Mason Mount on for so long, because Garnacho came on. It was like every time Garnacho had the ball, it was Jesus, you know, get it off him, stop the cross. And those are the 2 surprising decisions I thought that Amorim made. And that really helped us in terms of winning. But he would have seen that and he would have learnt. So, no, all managers make mistakes. You know, Pep went into that Chelsea Champions League final without a 6 or a 9, and Tuchel smacked his backside. So, all managers make mistakes, but I think Amorim's superb.
Yeah. Absolutely. Big up to Emma who's coming again. And she said, there you go, Lubo, 1 for you as well. Thank you.
No, Emma, it was a compliment. It was a compliment because every time I see you on this show, there's super stickers flying around.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So thank you very much, Emma. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Let's see. A lot of people in the chat, some of you just take it down a notch or two. It's just a nice, easy show where we answer football questions. There's no need for all of the back and forths that some of you are having. Sav, I mean, you don't know me to call me Sav, just so you know. That's not how this works. Sav, discriminating on speech to knob. I think you're trying to call me a knob, but just not doing it very well. I like that as a sentence, though. Sav, discriminating on speech to knob. Good. Thank you. 2 knob to you too. Big up to you, Dean. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. You keep saying this. I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did. But anyway, listen, it's all good. Listen, life's too short. I've forgotten last week.
I can't remember.
Where are we? Let's get to the next question. There's quite a few questions. I'm trying to get to as many as possible. Here we go. David Smith. How many scouts do Spurs have and how shit are they? Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. I'm guessing the answer for both of us is we don't know how many. And how shit are they? I mean, it would appear that we're very shit. Lubo might want to give a more cultured answer.
I think that Spursy came in a few years ago and he brought Gabbianini in and they built a scouting network that wasn't there under Steve Hitchens. And unfortunately, Fabio got banned. And then Levy brought in Munn, who brought in Lang. And Gabbianini left. And I think it's been downhill since then. I really do. And again, another poor decision from the top. And, you know, bad decisions have ramifications.
Mm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, big up to my man Dylan as well. Hope you're well, Dylan. Let's get rid of that one. Would you play a back 4 or back 3 against Arsenal?
I might play a back 11.
Yeah.
I'd play. What would I play? I'd play a back 3. I'd play a back 3 with Porro and Udogie tucked in. I think Danso's injured, isn't he? I play Vuskovic for his height because Arsenal are very strong at set pieces. With Gabriel and Saliba, I'd play Vuskovic with Romero and Van der Ven. Porro with Spence as wing backs. I would play midfield. Would probably be Basuma and Sarr. Or maybe is Bentancur out there? Or is he still?
No, I think Bentancur's gone, hasn't he? But I'm not sure if he's fit.
Tommy could sit. Hi, Tommy. And up front, you'd play Kudus. You play Richie because he will get amongst the centre backs and he's physical. And on the left, I play Johnson, and that will be my team. Mm-hmm. So I'd play the 3. I'd play 3 at the back, the 2 wing backs, Bentancur and Sarr. No one we're talking about. Bergval's there, isn't he? Bentancur and Bergval with Kudus, Richarlison and Johnson. That would be my team.
Yeah, I think he'll go over 4. I do. I think he'll go over 4. I think it's going to be... listen, if we go strong, I think it's going to be Vicario, Porro, Van der Ven, Romero, Spence.
Yeah.
I think that it will then be Bergval, Bentancur, And this is the problem at the moment without Kulu and Madison. There is not a creative player in there. I think he'll probably shore it up with Sarr, and then I think or Basuma, and then I think you're going to see Kudus, Solanke if fit. If he's not, it will be Richie or Tell, and on the left wing, I think it will be Johnson or Odeber or someone like that. That's what I think he'll do. That's what I think he'll do. We'll see. We'll know in about 12 hours, won't we? Well,
yeah.
14, 15 hours.
11:30, isn't it?
Yeah, 12:30 kickoff.
12:30
kickoff. Yeah, I'm live tomorrow, everybody, from 10:30 a.m. So the 10:30 a.m. show will just naturally evolve into the watch along. So you got me for about 5 hours in the morning tomorrow. Where are we? Here we go. This is a good one. Rex. Hello, Rex. I said, why do people keep writing me off when I mention Jadon Sancho? We should go in for Jadon before someone beats us to it. His fee is around 20 million and Premier League proven. Now, this is an interesting one because, again, I think for me, Lubo, this falls into the, would I prefer Sancho to Tell and Odeber and Johnson? And yes. Is he the guy I want? No. But by the way, his wages demands are extortionate, which is why no one's taken him yet. So what do you make of Jadon Sancho?
I mean, came through very well at Dortmund, didn't he?
Give me 1 second.
Came through really well at Dortmund. Went to United, didn't really happen, did it? He was very in and out, up and down. Went to Chelsea, again, underachieved. So would Tottenham be a new lease of life for him? That's the question. Does he fit in with Frank's system? Possibly. It may not be a bad shout. And if you're looking at 20 million, for me, 20 million is it's a reasonable punt on a player. So, because he's got to resurrect his career. He's had 2 underwhelming stints at United and Chelsea. So, but again, better than what we've got at the club. Yeah,
absolutely.
You look at the goal he scored at White Hart Lane at the Spurs ground last December. Cut in from the, cut right across the box, buried it in the far corner. Superb, quality player. But again,
he's one of those. He's in danger, Sancho. He's in danger of his career drifting away if he doesn't find a home for the next 3 or 4 years. You know, if he doesn't find somewhere, then again, Madueke is the same. You can't keep drifting. At some point, to leave a bit of an established mark on your career, you need to have somewhere where you play 200 games, get 70, whatever it may be. Look, let's get some super chats. Big up to Tokalish Man. Big up to you. I've probably absolutely butchered your name there. Sorry. So will it take relegation to finally change things? I think the thing is, I don't think we're ever in danger of getting relegated. That's me. I don't think we're ever in danger of getting relegated. I always think there's worse teams. Would it change things? You've got a massive problem. If you get relegated, the problem you've then got is what is the value of the football club? I'm not an expert, but I'm guessing if Spurs get relegated, Lubo, that 4 billion valuation out there in the market is now no longer £4 billion.
Well, the four is what we think. 3.75 is what we think Lewis and Levy wants. Forbes valued the club at 2.8, which is probably nearer the mark. Got to remember, there's also 800 million. We're 800 million odd in debt. You know, it's a lot of money. Someone's coming in that want to buy the club and cover the debt as well, unless they buy it and just and just take on the debt. I don't know. Would relegation change things? I think it would catapult the club into a perilous financial position. I really do. You know, with debt for that amount, not to be part of the gravy train that's the Premier League will be a massive blow to the club financially.
It would be very interesting to see if we went down, what would happen. And by the way, I don't think we're going to, by the way. I think we'll be top half. But it would be very interesting to see who stays, who goes, etc., etc. But hey, yeah, let's not put those omens out into the world. And big up to Cryptics AFC. Big up to you again with the Norwegian Corona saying only 1/3 has hit the like button. Stop moving like Levy. Listen, if you've got Arsenal fans in a Spurs chat telling us off for not hitting the like button, I think we should. We've had over 650 most of the show, definitely over 600, and only 232 likes. Come on, people, you can do better than that. So thank you very much, Cryptics. Really appreciate that, my man. My mate Bobby, how are you, mate? Says, Savva, here's a question for you. As a content creator, are you frustrated with the lack of transfers, or is it easier because we seem to be interested in every man and his dog right now? Yeah, great question, Bobby. Listen, I always answer Spurs transfer windows and Spurs related content. I always say when I'm on the phone to Lubo, so sometimes as a content creator, some of the drama is brilliant. The Morgan Gibbs White situation as a content creator is good. As a Spurs fan, it's crap. Do you know what I mean? Right. So, but the problem we've got this window, Bobby, is we're not linked to everybody and anybody, are we? At the moment, I'm seeing us linked to nobody. Like the only concrete link that I've seen, Lubo, in the last 3-4 weeks has been Paulinho. That's the I see names. I see names.
That's it.
I don't see any links to them. I don't see any of the big reporters saying it. So it's difficult, Bobby. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm a Spurs fan before I'm a content creator. I want Spurs to go out and act like a football club.
Sure.
Yeah. What I want, Bobby, is I want to be a content creator who's got loads of content because we're moving like Chelsea or Liverpool or Arsenal do. Right now, if I'm a Chelsea fan, right now, let me change that. Right now, if Tottenham were moving like Chelsea, look at all the shows we'd have and how much fun we'd all be having. You've got, what, 6, 7 coming in, 6, 7, 8 going out. Look how much you've got content to talk about. And it's not always negative. Look at us at Spurs at the moment. What on earth? We've got what we've had so far. We've had Keeley, and Keeley's gone out on permanent.
Yeah.
Phillips has gone on loan.
Yeah.
Dorrington's gone on loan.
Veliz has gone on loan.
Veliz has gone on loan, and now Mikey Moore looks like he's going on loan. So from an outgoing perspective, we've made £1 million. I'm not counting Højbjerg because that was
that's gone.
That's gone. So we've made £1 million this summer. 1 million. There's nothing to create on that front. From an incoming perspective, how many shows can you do about Takai? How much content? Like, we can all sit there and pretend we don't know him, right? Danso. Well, they were here last year, so it's not new news.
No,
so
the Danso money was paid for by Højbjerg, pretty much. So one counteracted the other.
Yep.
So, no, not much. Can I just say, free speech, Fiona? I want to play Porro up front on the right instead of Kudus. It's not what I said. Fiona, I said if you've got Spence, Porro in front of him, then Kudus, you've got a very strong right-hand side. So just to clear that up.
By the way, we're just getting reports coming out. A few sources are now saying it that apparently Man United don't need to sell to buy this window. I mean, I don't know. But at the moment, how worrying is that? Because if they do sell, they're going to buy more. But hey, big up to you, Bobby. Hopefully that answered your question. I do think that content creators get a lot of stick. We are in the firing line. We do put our face to the camera and our opinions to the camera. And everyone remembers what I say. Everyone remembers what Lubo says. Stel, Sean, Johnny, whatever. Problem is, where there's thousands of people who pass through the comment section every day, I can't remember what everybody said. So when they go, gutted, you said this. I'm like, sorry, have you never been wrong or you never... You know, it is what it is. Let's have a look at the next question. How far do you think we can go in the Champions League? Cool.
I think I'm going to have, based on where we are today, because obviously I'm not a clairvoyant. I don't know who's going to come in between now and September the 1st. as we stand now, I think if I'm going out, I'll probably do 2 of the 4 trips.
Stanley!
And I think that will be
Sorry.
it. I
thought I'd hit the mute.
I think we'll go out. End of January will be our final group match, and that will be it.
Mm.
You know, we're 17th. By rights, we really shouldn't be anywhere near that Champions League. There were 16 better teams than us over 38 games. Yeah, we're one of 6. I think one of 6, aren't we? That are in the Champions League this season. And unfortunately, I think we'll be the first one to go out.
I'll tell you what, Eugene, his lack of flexibility is nowhere near as bad as Ange's. This is complete not. Again, Eugene, you frustrate the life out of me, mate, because you see how bad Spurs are at nearly everything, but mock everyone else. No, I'm not having. No, again, we're doing that thing again. Everybody's shit. Everybody we've got is amazing. Jack, Pete, if you keep talking like that, I'll just block you, mate. You don't talk to my guests like that.
If he disagrees with what I say, then let him write down what he thinks, what his opinion is. You know, where's the counter argument, Jack? Come on, you can do better than that.
Yeah, got to be better. You've got, exactly. I've never understood how people can't do that in a comment section. Oh, here we go. Oh God, here's this guy. Oh God, all last year. Savva, why do you always contradict yourself? I really don't. You went on a rant about El Canoes, but in the beginning of the window, you were wanting a striker from Germany for the same price. What? Sorry. I mean, Lurs, if you, again, like Lubo just said, put down what you mean. Sorry, you do realise that if I like somebody, it's not necessarily the price. My point is with El Canoes is that El Canoes isn't better than what we've got. El Canoes looks like a good footballer, but how many more young players do you want to buy? I give up. Lurs, I don't constantly... Lurs, give me 3 things I've contradicted myself on. Anyway, these people make me laugh. Really make me laugh. Let's catch up a little bit to the comments. Let's catch up. Where are we?
You want me to give? I can give Bobby Andrews an answer. He wants it all-time Spurs 11. Jennings in goal, back 4. Perryman, Toby, Ledley, Cyril Knowles. Midfield, Ardiles, Gascoigne, Hoddle. Up front, Bale, Kane and Greaves. Not a bad 11. I've been very privileged to have seen all of those players play. There you go.
Yeah. By the way, my mate Matsin said thoughts on Vinay's impact so far. I mean, he's been at the football club for about 3 months, mate. What are you, Matt? As we've said to you before, you constantly demonstrate you don't understand how football works. He's been at the football club 3 months. What is it you wanted to? Lubo, my head hurts. My head hurts.
Listen, it's been a bad day for Matt because Sean's overtaken Matt's #1 spot as your best troll.
Oh,
so
God.
It's pretty bad. Matt's down at #2. Only joking, Sean.
He's another one, though. Matt doesn't understand the world of business. When somebody goes in as a new CEO at a company, right, what do? Turn around in the first quarter and go, right, has everything changed? Like, Jesus, give them a chance to get their feet under the table and implement changes and see results. And it's utterly crazy how people don't get life.
Matt, if you have a look, I'll just give you an example of how you don't do things to start. But he has learned. Is Todd Bowley went in, took out the whole top management that Abramovich had. So he went in completely new with new people into a new business, into a new sport, in a new country. And he made a lot of mistakes in the first year. Now he's learned from that and Chelsea are doing really well now. But you can't expect people like Frank, Vinay to come in and just change things, change what's been going on here for 25 years overnight. You know, we got to get real. You've got to give the guy a chance. You want him to be professional. You want him to do his best. Let him do his work. He knows what he's doing. He's a top professional manager. He knows far more about football than any of us. So let's sit back, try and enjoy it. I know it's frustrating at the moment, but let's just enjoy. The season will start very soon. Frank will be a good manager for us. No guarantee of trophies, but he will be a massive improvement on what we've been watching for the last 2 years.
I agree. It needs time. Oh my God, Jack, listen, dude, I'm trying my best with you. I'm seeing every one of your comments though. Every one of them is being nasty about me or Lubo. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes and then you're going to go. All right. No one's slagging off Spurs. We want Spurs to be better. Jack, you've got to grow up. You've got to grow up. All you're doing in the comment section is being nasty to people. You've got to stop, mate. You've got to stop, right? Most people in the chat are just joining in. Have you noticed? Most people join in, comments read. We have a bit of football chat. You are one of those that has to be really angry. So look, everything is just ripping people apart. Jack, you're turning into a wanker. There you go. That's my first polite bit of cussing. The next one won't be polite and you'll be blocked, right? You'll be blocked. I see everything, mate, by the way. See everything. Let's have a look.
By the way, Jack, teams that play 4 with 3 across the middle and then 3 up front have 3 down the right and 3 down the left. Not sure if you realise that.
People like that he doesn't understand football. Listen, you got to remember, someone like Jack, me and you could sit here and say Lionel Messi's the best player we've seen in the last 20 years. He'd find a way to diminish it. Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of person he is. We could sit here and say Hoddle's the best ever Spurs player or Greasy is, or he'd find a way to counter it because he just wants to be an arse, right?
Listen,
that's
glass half full, Jack, instead of glass half empty. You'll be much happier.
Yeah, Jack, you got to stop, my man. I've been against a lot of these youth purchases, which were overinflated, but living in Leicester, El Canoe's 21 midfielder player, excellent player. Yeah, but cool. Let's just keep doing this then. Let's just keep buying kids from relegated. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. Sure. But then you'll complain that we're not trying to catch the other clubs. It's got to ask what you want. El Canoes for me is the sort of player. I think somebody summed it up yesterday. El Canoes is the sort of player for me, Lubo, where if you get your 4 or 5 first team players in, and in the last couple of weeks of the window, you get an opportunity, you go, actually, yeah, let's bring him into the fold. But right now, Takai, Tell, Danso, Vuskovic have all come in this window by one way or another. All aren't first team starters.
That's right. We
now need someone else, 2 or 3 others that join Kudus as first team starters. Yeah. I don't know how we don't get that as a fan base. I don't. As I always say, stop having a go. I say this to you, look, stop having a go at the owners if you're happy with these things.
And the other thing also is that, for me personally, I think we've seen enough of Bergvall last season to see that he has got the potential to grow into a really top player. So I don't want players blocking his path. I want him still in the first team this season because he will grow in that first team. And if we do, go
one more, Jack. One more, Jack, and I'm going to fuck you up. One more. I don't slag Spurs play. See, this is the problem. When we've got children like you, I understand you need a cuddle, right? I understand you probably need a cuddle. You haven't got anyone in your life to tell you that you're loved. I'll tell you, I love you. I like people like you, Jack. People like you need a cuddle. I am a YouTube content creator for Tottenham. I will give credit where it's due. I will say if I don't rate a player, but then children like you say it's slagging off. Slagging off. What do you mean? Who's my favourite Spurs player, Lubo?
Your favourite Spurs player is James Maddison. Yeah,
I don't slag him off, but I'll critique him. He's my favourite Spurs player. Big fan of Mickey van der Ven. I'll critique him. Big fan of Pedro Porro. I'll critique him. Unfortunately, Jack, we've got too many people like you that just can't quite have a conversation without having to be silly. Stop now. That's your last one. One more, you're gone. All right? I've put up with it now.
You're on a yellow, Jack. You're on a yellow.
Lubo, tell me why Berta has been able to impact Arsenal in 3 months. Oh, God, Lubo, please, can your answer please be to him that Berta is a director of football, not a CEO? They have got two very different jobs within the club. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? This is ridiculous.
I think the difference between Berta you can compare to probably Lang. It's not a Berta Vinay. It's not a Berta Vinay comparison at all. If you're saying if we're comparing Berta to Lang, then Arsenal had already pinpointed certain players. The Zubimendi deal was agreed months before Berta came in. But Arteta's no fool, and he would know what sort of players he needs.
Sorry, so because I don't live in Leicester, I don't know El Kanous. If you actually watch the video I made yesterday, I said I think El Kanous is a good, technical, tidy footballer. But my point is, how many more players can we buy with hardly any experience to come into a first team when those around us are buying? Honestly, I give up. People like David, sorry you don't know him. Oh, because you live there. Sorry, David, you live in Leicester, so you don't know any of the Spurs players because I live in London. What are we doing? Oh, God, Lubo, these idiots frustrate the hell out of me, honestly.
David, sometimes there are players that are good players. I'm not saying I've seen some really nice highlights from him. But at the end of the day, you've got to look at the players that we've got at the club. And would he block that path? And is he so good that he is better than a Bergvall, for argument's sake? I got to disagree. I think we've got a great player in Bergvall. You don't bring him into the team and then push him out because you buy someone in who may not be better, who was okay for Leicester in what was a really poor team. I mean, if he was that good, would Leicester have lost? I mean, did Leicester lost more games than us, didn't they, last season? He's okay. He's all right, but is he that great?
I like him. But the thing is, Lubo, what frustrates me with football fans, they don't listen. Me saying I don't think Spurs should sign him, right, isn't me slagging off the player. No. Like, there are many players who I think are good, but doesn't mean I want them at Tottenham. Tottenham, for me now, have loads of players between the age of 21 and 18. We've got loads of them, Lubo.
We don't need any more. We're done. We are done with kids. Unless someone comes in that is that good, that is elite level, and we manage to pull off a fantastic coup and bring someone in on a transfer and blow away all the other clubs because we've had a tip off, because the recruitment is great, because Lang knows someone who knows someone, or Lang's seen somebody. It's we seriously don't need any more kids. We've got plenty of kids. And if anybody was watching the weekends, George Abbott stamped his name on that first team squad as well. And he's coming through. And it's interesting because I think he's in front of Gray now. I think he's pushed himself well in front of Gray. And we've got another really good kid. He's not 20 for another 3 weeks, this kid. He had a year out at Notts County. He is a class act. Hopefully he'll continue to develop, and you'll be talking about George Abbott. So we don't need El Kanous, however good he is, David.
By the way, I have no idea. Listen, I'm starting to see some very strange comments from you, Big Boss Man. Last warning, you're going to get blocked. I don't know who Kate is.
The BBC on holiday, so
yeah. BBC is not what you probably think it is if you're thinking innocently. If you're trying to talk about my wife, who's not on holiday, that's your warning. That's your warning right there, dude. It's a football channel, my man. It's a football channel. Just relax. It's a football channel. Honestly, mate, it's so difficult. Matt. When you're saying, why do I? You said it. Why do I dismiss everything you say, mate? The role of the CEO and the role of the director of football are two very different things. How can we judge the impact of a CEO as quickly as we can a director of football? Vinay will be judged over the next couple of years with all the changes at Tottenham. Vinay will be judged for me by, he must be involved in naming rights, for example. Vinay is going to be judged on that. But when you're saying the impact they've had, what let me ask you, Matt. Let's see if I get an answer. What impact did you want Vinay to have by now that is tangible that we can see? Because if it's just transfers, then that's everyone at Spurs, isn't it? You know, look, I don't know. Do you know what? I really wish the internet didn't have so many stupid people.
All right.
I really do.
Listen, Matt, rather than come out with a one-liner, 2 lines, just come in and explain what you mean so that we can fully understand exactly where you're coming from. Because, you talk about Vinay for 3 months. What part of his job did you expect him to do better? What area of his job? You've got to remember, he's looking after football. That's women's football, men's football, communication. There are so many different areas for him. He is chief football officer. So just let us know which area you're looking at, and then we can give an answer.
Yeah, see, this is it. Absolutely, Michelle Ellis. Absolutely, Michelle. Director of football is just that. Football. CEO is everything. Unfortunately, what we see, Michelle, you do see a lot of people like Matt in the chat who don't quite understand how businesses work. They don't understand that football is now a business. Yes, on the football side is what we care about, but it's just silly. It's really, really silly. I think you've got to give that time to see how that pans out. I don't know what Vinay is going to do at this club. None of us do at the moment. Let's see. But we can't give him half of... Lubo, you got it on this. We can't give a CEO like half a transfer window and then we're going, oh, he's rubbish. What's he done for our club? It's like...
I think you've got to look. I think for any transfer window, you've got to judge the people who are working that window. And heads of recruitment like Lang and his scouting network are working literally 12 months a year. There's football going on around the world somewhere right the way through the summer. I see on the BBC Sport on the internet, there are always results going on through the summer. It might be America, wherever. They are looking at players the whole time. And they have, what do they have? 3 months in the summer and 1 month in the winter. So they're working 8 months for those 4 months. So this is not a situation where we are talking about a CEO who's not doing his job. The only thing that you can say about him is that if Spurs do continue to mess up transfer windows, then the CEO is entitled to look at the recruitment team and say, does this need changing? But bearing in mind, this is his first window where he's been at the club. You've got to give other people time to, so that Vinay can make a definitive decision. These guys are good. He's also got comparisons to make with the recruitment teams at Arsenal because he was there 14 years. So he has got an idea of how it works. I think people have just got to relax a little bit. Everybody wants everything now. Things take years to build. Situations take years to build. Rome wasn't built in a day. Everybody chill.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let me get some super chats, and I'm only going to go for another 5 minutes or so. I think when you get to the stage in the show where you start getting loads and loads of trolls. Yeah. Big up to Anthony Clark, my man. Anthony, how you doing, bro? Said, big up, guys. I feel your pain. Oh, how dare you? After the transfer window, your club's having. How dare you?
He's got a 14 shirt there on his picture. Look. He's rubbing our faces in it here, isn't he? Eh?
Is that Henri passing the baton down to Gyökeres? Big up, Anthony. Thank you. He's always been very generous. Big up to you, my man. Cryptics AFC. The Arsenal fans are more generous to me. Smash the like button, people. 281 likes. If every troll smashed the like button, we'd be doing all right. Let me get these super chats. Sorry, just quickly. Even as a rival, some of these Spurs fans can be so jarring. Have that beer you wanted on me. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. It's crazy. You get these people that they want to go on to shows and hear that every Spurs player is amazing, right? That the manager's amazing. Every player is amazing. Every director of football is amazing. then they're the first people that will be going, oh, we haven't had a good window. We want this player out, this manager out. They don't like people that critique the truth. And hey, it is what it is. Big up to you. Big up to Marco, said we should move on from Ange. Remember, Thomas Frank has inherited this team. Give him the chance to show us how good he is. Marco, absolutely. I think a lot of people are trying and a lot of people won't let it happen. Every single transfer story, result, press conference. I saw, like, even Stel today, I'm going to talk to you about it tomorrow night. Stel today bashing Frank on his channel about, he said, Arsenal are a big club. What's wrong with that? I don't understand. Like, I can't believe that a Spurs manager's saying that. Well, they are. They are a big club. I don't know what we mean. It's just mad, Lubo. Like, everyone's just bashing Frank with everything. And then they're all saying, no, I'm not bashing Frank. You are. You are. Everything. Davis signs. Frank. Tell signs. Frank. Yeah? Gibbs White doesn't sign. Frank. Thomas Frank says in his press conference 7th. Frank. It's like, he hasn't even had a proper game yet. I find it amazing. Big up to you, Marco. Thank you. I find it astonishing. And big up Craig Scott, the General Tracks, my man. Thank you very much for the super sticker. For every horrible person out there, there's good people like you, Craig. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. This has to stop, right? Doesn't it? This has to stop, this knocking Frank for everything before we've even finished the summer pre-season and started a first game. It's getting mental, mate.
You know, when he does well, he'll shut the whole lot of them up. And they'll all be mugged off completely.
But it will never be enough. It will never be enough. Because if he finishes 6th, they'll go, Ange got 5th. Do you know what I mean? Like, it will never be enough.
But you've got to compare apples for apples.
I agree.
And Ange didn't have Europe that year. So, you know, and look what happened when Ange did have Europe. We finished 17th. So I think people have got to, apples for apples. How are we going to do? Ange would never won the Champions League this year, so let's not expect too much from Frank.
I don't get it. I get it. If people aren't happy with the appointment, don't be happy with it. But let's stop trying to find everything to bash him with. He hasn't even had a proper game. He hasn't had a meaningful game. And we'll wrap up in a second. My mate Matt said, Lubo, Savva told me Vinay runs day-to-day football operations. We've signed one first-team player, not sold well. We don't know the project set for Frank. We all left in the dark again. That's your answer. Matt, I don't know what you want me to say, mate. I don't know.
Actually, Matt, I told Savva that I heard that Vinay is running the day-to-day football operations, and Levy's been taken away from it. We've signed one first-team player, not sold well. We know that. Frank has taken over a team and a squad, and he has got a few weeks to get that squad knocked into shape as quickly as he can for the league. He will give his opinion on players and what players he wants. You know, he works closely with the data guys. They will know. They would have spoken to him regarding what players he wants. And at that stage, Frank is with the first team. So it's not his fault. He's got to rely on others to go and get those players. So, you know, if you're looking at people to blame, then you look at, buying players is recruitment. So you can look at the recruitment team. If you're not happy with the way the team are playing football, you look at the manager and the system he's set them up and the players that he's picking, and you look for the manager. But at the moment, we haven't played a competitive game yet. So let's make sure that we're focusing the right. If you want to put blame at this stage of the season, the season hasn't even started. As I keep saying, let's chill. Let's wait and see what happens. We've got another 33 days for the transfer window now. Who knows? Maybe Spurs will come up with 2 or 3 really good buys. And then you know what? September the 1st, September 2nd, everybody's happy again. We're all looking at it. Langer's done a good, decent job. Frank has got some good players to work with. And as fans, we're happy. But I think people are just so critical. Let's not be so critical all the time about people. Let's just wait. You know, if any of us went into a job, would we want to be judged into a brand new job? We'd change companies. Would any of us want to be judged 3 or 4 weeks into a new job? Of course we wouldn't. And if we were, if we were getting abuse from people, in social media,
from people that don't know what our remit is.
Correct.
Right.
So let's just relax. Frank, we know he's a good manager. If Frank can keep Brentford up instead of yo-yoing like most of the teams that have been yo-yoing, never once been in the relegation zone, and just have a look at the money. Look at the money that he's spent. I mean, in 7 years, he's spent as much, I think, as Postecoglou in 2 years. That's the difference in levels of expenditure. 7 years, the same money as Postecoglou spent in 2 years. So let's just relax.
Yeah, I've said it before. People just need to. I'm just bored of it now. But anyway, listen, a couple of super chats, and then we're gonna go. I'm back tonight at 10 p.m. Steve, USA Steve's going to join me, maybe a few others. We'll chat football. Who knows? By the way, looks like Chelsea are about to start bidding for Garnacho as well. The player that wouldn't get into our team apparently, but Chelsea feel he's good enough for them. Big up to, this is definitely, is this Mark? I want to say Mark. Big up to you, my man, with a super sticker. Thank you very much. I don't know what's happened to these YouTube names anymore. Makes it very harder to see who everyone is, but big up to you. Thank you very much. And also Jason Scopes, thank you very much for the super sticker. Very much appreciated, my man. Really, really do appreciate all of you that support the channel. Listen, look, it is what it is. We're all frustrated. I think we've got to remember this, right? I think that we're all frustrated, right? All frustrated. We all want to see players come in. We all want to see players go out. And more than anything, I think we need to, if you've got anger, direct it in the right place. Let's stop directing it at the manager that's been in the football club less than 3-4 weeks. Like let's stop doing that. It makes us look really petty. Lubo, thank you very much. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for all the comments and questions, guys. Mirrors 23, don't think we'll be relegated. Don't see any way that Frank allows this team to be dragged into the relegation zone whatsoever. Mid-table, maybe, depending on the backing. But relegation battle, never.
No, agreed. Thank you, everyone. Much love. Take care. Even the trolls. Much love to you as well, because I feel like you need a bit more love and cuddles than everyone else. As always, I'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock. But come on, you Spurs.
And